Hello there, it's Adrian here again. Welcome to another lesson. And in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a whole new category of chord, the minor chord. Now, all of the chords we've looked at so far in this course have been what's called major chords, the E, A and the D chords. You don't usually need to say that they're major chords, that's implied, and just saying the letter name is enough. But there's a whole other category of chords, the minor chords, which is equally as useful and equally as important. Now, I like to think of chords as belonging to different sonic families, and each of these families has its own emotional character. The major chords, for instance, have all got quite an upbeat, happy sound to them, whereas the minor chords that we're about to look at are often described as being darker and moodier and having a bit of a sad sound to them. So let's check out some minor chords. First up is the E minor chord, and this is a really easy chord because it's exactly like an E chord, but you're not using your first finger. So if you were to hold down an E chord and take up your first finger, you've got the E minor chord. You can see you've got the second finger at the second fret on the fifth string, third finger is right underneath that at the second fret on the fourth string. And as usual, just check that you've got 6 clear notes and then strum the chord. The only thing you might watch out for on this one is that your third finger isn't bumping into and muting the third string. So make sure you're right up on the tips of your fingers and that third string rings clearly. Now we've got the A minor chord, and this is also really easy because it's just like an E chord, but everything is moved down by one string. Let me show you what I mean. If you play an E chord and then just move each finger one string down, you've got an A minor chord. But the first finger is at the first fret on the second string, second finger is at the second fret on the fourth string, and the third finger is at the second fret on the third string. Watch out with this chord that you don't play the low E string. You can see there's a cross against that string in the diagram. Just check the strings. Should have 5 clear notes and then strum. And again, just shouldn't have too many problems with this chord, I don't think, if you can play an E chord, but make sure you're up on the tips of your fingers and you're not muting any of the strings, particularly the first string. It's easy just to bump into that with your first finger, so just adjust your first finger until it clears the first string. That should sort that out. Next we come on to the D minor chord, and I think most people find this chord a bit trickier to play than the other two. We've got our first finger here at the first fret on the first string. Our second finger is going to go and play the second fret on the third string, and our third finger is at the third fret on the second string. I'm just going to check those strings separately and then strum. Notice we're not playing the low E or the A string in this particular chord. You want to make sure all your fingers are well positioned, especially watch out that your second finger isn't touching the fourth string above it, that you're right on the tip of that finger. Also, some people have a tendency to position their third finger so it's a bit too flat and it mutes the top string. So you want to make sure you're up on the tip of your third finger and that first string can ring clearly. So there we have it, 3 very useful minor chords which we'll be seeing a lot of in the very near future. You can get practicing those now. Try strumming them, maybe using some of our right hand strumming patterns. Practice changing between them. You could also try combining them with some of our major chords and seeing if you can come up with some interesting sounds. In our next lesson we're going to be looking at a song involving some minor chords, and I look forward to seeing you for that very soon.